I remember the exact date. It was a Tuesday in February. I was sitting in my car outside a Tesco, engine off, and I just spent £11.40 on lunch. Not a fancy lunch, just a meal deal and a coffee. And I sat there, in the cold, genuinely proud of myself. Proud of spending £11, because I'd budgeted for it. And in that moment, something hit me that I wasn't ready for. I'd been doing this, tracking every penny, watching every purchase, stressing about every direct debit for over a year. And I was still in the same place I'd started. Same account balance, same anxiety every time I opened my banking app. Same feeling that money was this thing that was always just slightly out of reach. And if you're ready to take control of your own focus, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get into it. Here's what nobody tells you about personal finance in the UK right now. We are surrounded by advice. Martin Lewis, money-saving expert, comparison sites, government campaigns. And almost all of it, and I'm going to say this carefully, is technically correct, but emotionally wrong. It tells you what to do. Cut this, switch that, open an ISA, pay down your credit card. And look, none of that is bad advice, but it all assumes something that isn't true for most people. It assumes you already have a healthy relationship with money as a concept, and most of us don't. We never learned it. According to the Money and Pensions Service, over 17 million adults in the UK feel anxious about their finances. 17 million. That's not a budgeting problem. That's not a "you need a better spreadsheet" problem. That is a thinking problem. The way most of us would taught to think about money, and I include myself in this, is that money is something you either have or you don't, that it's about luck or salary or the postcode you were born in, and that being careful with money means spending as little as possible and hoping for the best. I believed all of that, deeply, for most of my adult life. Tariq earned £47,000 a year, above the UK median. A good job, a flat in Birmingham, on paper doing all right. Whenever money came up, he'd say the same thing. Once I get to 55k, I'll start saving properly. He got the promotion, 47k to 54k. Within 4 months, his spending had risen by almost exactly the same amount. New car, upgraded flat, better holidays. He wasn't wasteful, he just spent up to whatever he earned, because in his mind, money was income. I was doing the same, earning £28,000, about £400 in savings, not because I couldn't save more, but because every time I got close to £1,000, something came up. I wasn't irresponsible, I just didn't believe on a gut level that saving had a point. That belief, that absence of belief, was the thing I had to change before any ISA, any investment account, any spreadsheet. That was the actual problem. So here's what I actually think, having been in this space for a while now and having made enough mistakes to have opinions worth sharing. The first shift: stop thinking about saving as sacrifice, start thinking about it as buying future options. I used to think every £50 I put away was £50 I couldn't enjoy. That's the scarcity mindset, and it's almost impossible to sustain because you're constantly fighting yourself. Every transfer to a savings account felt like a punishment. But the reframe that actually worked for me was this: I wasn't saving instead of living, I was buying options. The option to leave a job I hated, the option to handle an emergency without going into debt, the option to say yes to something important without panicking. That £200 a month into my stocks and shares ISA isn't a sacrifice, it's me buying a version of my future where I have choices. That shift in language sounds small, it changed everything. The second shift: income is not wealth. This one is going to upset some people, and I don't care. In the UK, we're obsessed with salary. We ask what people earn, we celebrate pay rises, we treat a higher wage as the finish line. And look, income matters, I'm not dismissing it, but income and wealth are not the same thing.
Wealth is what you keep and what you own. There are people in this country earning £35,000 who are quietly building wealth through consistent pension contributions, a stocks and shares ISA, and no consumer debt. And there are people earning £80,000 who will retire with almost nothing because their lifestyle has always expanded to match what comes in. Tarek is one of them. I've watched it happen in real time. The number on your payslip is not your financial position. Your assets minus your liabilities, that is your financial position. And until you start thinking that way, no pay rise will ever feel like enough.
Most money stress is not about money. I know that sounds like something you'd find on a motivational poster, and I'm slightly embarrassed to say it. But hear me out. When I dug into why I kept spending my savings, why I couldn't hold on to money even when I was earning enough, it wasn't about the money. It was about how I grew up. It was about the fact that in my household, money was tight, and anything you had today might be gone tomorrow. So you spent it. You enjoyed it while you had it. That was a completely rational response to an insecure environment. But I was still running that program in my late 20s, in a completely different situation, and it was costing me thousands of pounds a year in missed opportunities. I'm not saying therapy instead of a pension. I'm saying before you beat yourself up for not being disciplined enough, ask yourself whether you actually believe, really believe, that saving is worth it for you. Because if part of you doesn't, no budgeting app will fix that.
The moment I sat in that car park, feeling proud of an £11.40 lunch, that was the moment I realised I'd been playing defence my entire financial life. I'd been trying not to lose money, rather than trying to build something. And there's a huge difference. One is exhausting, the other is energising. If I could go back and say one thing to myself at 23, it wouldn't be open a SIP or max your ISA allowance, though both of those things matter and I'll talk about them on this channel. It would be, the goal is not to survive your finances. The goal is to own your future. That shift happened because of one rubbish Tuesday in a Tesco car park, and I think it might be the most important thing I've ever figured out.
If this felt different from the usual finance content, good. That's the point. I'm not here to give you a list of tips you'll forget by tomorrow. I'm here to talk about money the way I wish someone had talked to me about it. Honestly, specifically, without pretending it's all about spreadsheets. If that's something you want more of, subscribe. I put a new video out every week. No fluff, no sponsorship scripts pretending to be advice, just this. I'll see you in the next one.
If this message feels like it hit home, that's no accident. It's your inner voice calling for change. And here's the truth. Staying the same won't get you anywhere new, but taking action will. That's exactly why thousands of people just like you have already broken free from living paycheck to paycheck by following a simple, proven blueprint. You don't need special skills, you don't need a second job. What you need is the right system, and it's already helping over 55,000 members build real financial freedom. So, here's your choice. Close this video and go back to business as usual, or click the link below and take your first step towards stability, freedom, and the life you know you're meant to live. The opportunity is here. The question is, are you ready to take it?